So first thing that happens, let's get into like alcohol metabolism, because that'll be important for understanding the rest of the discussion. This isn't going to get super technical, so people, don't panic if you hear, metabolic pathways and stuff. I think we can, take the listener through this fairly clearly. So you drink, beer, wine, whatever, something with alcohol in it. It's absorbed through the stomach lining very quickly. It's absorbed through small intestine basically immediately. Um, like everything else, and we discussed this, I think, in our last episode, first pass effect. So, the alcohol goes to your liver, and your liver starts breaking it down, right? And so the first thing that happens is the alcohol or ethanol gets broken down by an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase. And so this breaks it down into acetaldehyde, which is toxic. It's it's thought to be responsible for a lot of the sort of negative feelings you have around out like after you drink. So like a hangover, headache, flushing of the skin, which we'll come back to. These are thought to be largely mediated by acetaldehyde. It's also genotoxic and is thought to be a class one carcinogen, or is considered a class one carcinogen. So this is bad shit, right? Like you don't want this floating around your body a whole lot. Luckily for most people, your body's like, okay, well, we don't want this floating around. And there's a gene called aldehyde dehydrogenase. There's an enzyme, aldehyde dehydrogenase. And this breaks down acetaldehyde into acetate. And so acetate, which, again, probably Schwartz, you know all about, enters the Krebs cycle. And this is where your calories come from alcohol, right? Once you get to the acetate component, each acetate molecule, I think, gives you like around 10 ATP, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'll have to pull
And
up
that's
my
the
chart.
cal
I don't have it on me right now. The Krebs
the
cycle,
big
the
circle,
citric
the
acid
acid
cycle.
cycle.
Yeah.
Your wallet folded up.
Yeah. So many
I like,
names for
I
the
like
same
the
cycle.
man. Um, yeah, I'm not sure why that. I'm not sure why that is.
I don't know why.
My uncle was named after the famous professor, Dr. Cycle. So maybe that's
Nice.
maybe that's for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like the dad joke king before there were dads. So
Before there were dads, man, your uncle's pretty old.
it's super old. So Ozzy, if you're listening to this, that's my uncle. That's a little shout out for your Dr. Cycle joke. He also had a similar joke about the Golgi apparatus being discovered by Dr.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I don't know. All right. So I think it's worth spending a little bit of time because this is super interesting on the sort of acetaldehyde, and some people actually can't digest or don't metabolize acetaldehyde very well or hardly at all. And so this is best known as the condition known as like Asian flush, or, Asian glow. More correctly, it's, I think, alcohol intolerant or alcohol flush syndrome. And so the reason people call it, Asian flush is because it's by far and away most common in people of East Asian descent. Not exclusively, it should be pointed out, but that's by far the population which it appears at the highest prevalence. And so what happens here, and this is people often will say, they're allergic to alcohol, but it's not actually an allergy. So if you go back to what we were saying, just a moment ago, alcohol gets enzymatically broken down into acetaldehyde, and the acetaldehyde is broken down into acetate, which is, perfectly good, fine for you. So there is a gene variant of the enzyme for aldehyde dehydrogenase, ALDH2, where they don't break this. Essentially, the enzyme ends up being very inefficient, right? And so what happens is you get an accumulation of acetaldehyde. So you have a drink, and then so for most people, you go through this pathway, and the alcohol gets broken down. You get the acetaldehyde. That's not good, but your body takes care of it, relatively quickly, and you get through it. So for people who have a mutation in this gene, the acetaldehyde builds up, and it causes, among other things, flushing of the skin, nausea, headache, more rapid like psychomotor problems,